Am I the asshole for not letting my daughter's husband see her after her birth? I, 47 female, have a daughter, 24 female, named Layla who just gave birth to her first child. I don't know much but I know that she and her husband Matt, 27 male, have been having issues on what to name their child. Matt wants to name their baby a ridiculous name which I won't specifically name here but it's a month. And not something like June, May, or April. Something like October with a middle name that's a color, and once again not something like Violet or Scarlet. Meanwhile Layla wants a more practical name. Because of all this they have been in marriage counseling which hasn't have seemed to work. A weeks ago Layla gave birth but had to stay hospitalized because of complications. Right after her birth she was very out of it and wasn't in her right mind. Matt took advantage of this and when I asked him what they were going to name their baby he stated the name he wanted. I knew Layla wouldn't like this and that it was supposed to be a joint decision so I didn't allow him to sign anything which resulted in him not being able to legally sign off as her father. When Layla woke up she thanked me for it but Matt has been refusing to see their baby. What was supposed to be a beautiful phase in their life has been spoiled by his family bombarding her with texts and calls. Now I'm starting to think I may have gone too far since he hasn't seen his baby in weeks. Am I the asshole? Edit. To be clear, Matt was hours away at the time of Layla's birth. I asked him what they were going to name their baby on call. When I heard his response I didn't tell him which hospital we were at so he had no way of coming in and signing anything. Advocating for a mother right before, during and after birth is a noble deed. You knew what your daughter wanted, she confirmed that when she came to. The father not seeing his own kid as a punishment for you and his wife is insane. There is only one asshole in this story. Info. How did you not allow him to sign anything given that you are not legally a parent or guardian of the child? I say not the asshole, but even if you were and should have stayed out of it, I don't think Matt is very mature or ready to be a parent. Refusing to see the baby because he was thwarted from naming his daughter behind his wife's back. Seriously? Not the asshole. He was planning on naming her while your daughter was out of it, although he is the father that shows he had no care for your daughter's opinion in the first place. I think there's a window for naming the baby and doesn't have to be done right away and both parties should be present, and aware, of what their child is named. I hope my mother would stand beside me to make sure I was okay with everything my significant other was doing if she even thought I'd have second thoughts. That's not how any of this works. You would have no authority to stop him from doing anything. Unless he is a moron he would have simply called a few hospitals in the area to find out where she was. This didn't happen but please try and make it at least plausible. Info. How did you, mother-in-law have any say-so in what a father-husband signed for his child? Am I the asshole for asking my grown adult child to please not smoke marijuana at my vow renewal? I am going to start this by saying that my daughter has been smoking for a very long time and she knows how I feel about it and she knows that the smell bothers me. We do live in a state where it is legal for 21 plus behind closed doors on private property not in close proximity to minors. When I go to her home, I smell it, but I don't say anything to her about it because it's her space, she can do what she wants, but my husband and I don't allow it in our house so she almost never comes over because she knows I'll say something if I smell it on her or her kids, my grandkids. Next month my husband and I are having an anniversary party, birthday celebration. Both of us turned 40 this year. As well as a vow renewal. We had a courthouse wedding right before COVID so we never got a chance to celebrate with our friends and family like we wanted to so we decided to do one big celebration now. When we first started discussing what we wanted, I said I would like it if our kids were able to stand with us during our renewal. I have my daughter, his son, and our daughter together. I asked the kids if they were open to do that with us and they all agreed and so we made plans and had discussions about what I would like them to wear and whatnot. Last week, I called my daughter to confirm that she had everything under control as far as what she was going to wear including accessories and during our conversation I had made the request that her and her husband refrain from smoking while at the park we're having the party at. She became very upset and started to yell at me asking if I was planning on restricting anyone from drinking alcohol and my response was that we are not providing any alcohol to anyone so if they bring it and drink it I can't stop them. She then told me that she doesn't know how long she will be staying then if she won't be allowed to even go to her car to smoke. Again it's not even legal to use in public spaces like the park. My husband works for the police department and he's invited a few of his friends from work so there's that as well. So am I the asshole for asking her to refrain from smoking for one day? I feel like I need to clarify a few things. 1. No, she does not use weed for medical purposes. It's recreational for both her and her husband. 2. She has been told that she can have edibles, but please keep them in the car for a few reasons which include not being obvious that she's consuming something in front of the police chief. 3. My husband is the one who set up with the park manager for us to use the space and said we can have alcohol. If it turns out we can't, then we will deal with that then. 4. IDK how this turned into a "you were a teen mom so it's no wonder you kid is so screwed up" post. And not that it's really anyone's business, but it's not my fault that I was a teen mom, but I did what I could and waited until I was in a committed relationship before I had my second, and last. 5. The only time that I have ever said anything to her about the smell was when she was a minor, under 18. And when she comes into my spaces, my house, car, etc. Otherwise I deal with it. It gives me a headache and makes my stomach turn, and I'm sorry but I really don't want to have to deal with that on my day. You have grandkids at 40? Edit. The amount of people in these replies bragging about their lineage breeding at age 20 is ghastly. Having kids at 20 is not a flex or something to be proud of or brag about. Not the asshole. I am a huge stoner and am almost constantly high for reference. It's your event, you can for sure ask people to not smoke at your event. If she needs to be high, there's several options that don't include smoking and causing a scene. She could take edibles, smoke before she gets there, or use a dab pen. They tend to be way less smelly and more discreet in general. Keep your boundaries firm, she can come up with something. Not the asshole. If your daughter can't go by a few hours without smoking, especially for a big, personal event like you describe, then she has a big problem. Especially her whining and comparing it to alcohol, somehow trying to justify herself. I say this as someone who smokes nearly every day, but what you describe is just absurd. There's a time and place for everything. I love how many people in here are glossing over the fact that apparently her grandkids reek of weed because the daughter smokes so much. She needs to switch to edibles before she gives her kids a developmental delay, or maybe, not be constantly intoxicated around her children. Are you allowed to bring alcohol to public parks? Always had to sneak them where I live. Not the asshole. I smoke pretty much daily, but I don't have to. If someone has to be high, they have a problem. A big one. That they are gonna insist isn't a problem. Just like functional alcoholics. I have no issues with weed, but if you don't want it at your event, your daughter should be able to respect that. If she can't, maybe she doesn't need to come to your renewal. I know that's harsh, but if there are no consequences to her habit, she will never see it as a problem. Am I the asshole for getting my niece the wrong phone? Long story short, my niece is 15 and has an old iPhone SE 3rd generation with a cracked screen and bad battery life. I had some Apple gift cards left over, so I decided to get her a brand new iPhone 16,256GB pink color. As soon as she opened it up she said, "Oh, it's not a Pro?" and is now asking me to return it and get her a Pro, which is more expensive. I told her if she wants another phone she can return it, sell it and pay the difference herself. Both parents are upset with me for not asking her or clearing it with them beforehand. Am I the asshole? I would think that's a great upgrade, but maybe I'm out of the loop for what the proper phone for a teenager is. Not the asshole. Did she even say thank you? I'm 16 and I'm using a cracked iPhone 11 from when it was new. I told my parents that as long as it functions, why waste money on a new phone? If someone gave me the fucking 16 in pink, I'd actually scream and cry from gratitude. She's a brat. Not the asshole, but her parents sure are for co-signing this shit. I would have immediately taken it back. Not the asshole, since the parents are upset that you didn't clear it, apologize and return the phone. Don't replace it. Keep your Apple gift cards for yourself or for someone who will appreciate the gift. Not the asshole. She can return it, sell it and pay the difference herself. Fucking A. Maybe I'm out of the loop for what the proper phone for a teenager is. Whatever they get or afford. No teen deserves a phone. Yes, she should be more grateful, but skipping the parents puts you in asshole territory. Did it occur to you that maybe she has an old, damaged phone because they had conditions on getting a new one? Or they were planning an upgrade for her birthday? Or that they would have ponied up the difference to get the Pro? Point is, you got an expensive gift for a kid without discussing it with her parents, creating a situation that they could have known was coming and were trying to avoid. Now it's gone sideways. Work it out with her parents, and next time talk to them first. Not the asshole. They don't deserve a phone. They get what they get unless they want to buy it. Sounds like she's ungrateful. Return it and let her deal with her current phone until she's more appreciative. She's welcome to replace the screen. Am I the asshole for saying my father-in-law isn't welcome in my home? My twin girls are 4 months and my in-laws came to visit, from a foreign country, for 5 months, to see their grandkids. My father-in-law would only feed Arya, not Anna. He also would only photograph, video call home with, carry around, entertain, change, and generally interact with Arya. If Arya cried she would be immediately picked up, but if Anna cried he would leave the room, or even the house, sometimes with Arya. Arya looks like her dad and Anna looks more like me. I'm exhausted and devastated. I can't stand the favoritism and I can't stand my father-in-law anymore. I told my husband his dad isn't welcome, but my husband just says he is my dad. Am I just too tired to see this clearly? Not the asshole. Talk to your husband again. He can say, well, he's my dad, and you need to ask him, well, isn't Ada your daughter? Why stick up for your dad and not your daughter? Sometimes men have a harder time getting used to this new loyalty in the equation. You're not a child to your parents anymore, you are a parent to your children. They now take precedence, and it is they who need to be stood up for. Not dad who hasn't even been made to account for his behavior. Get on that. Not the asshole. My husband just says he is my dad. Which is your cue to say, right, and that is why it is your job to explain to him how and why he has lost his visitation privileges, end of. Not the asshole. Did you talk to father-in-law directly about this? Not the asshole. Father-in-law can love both your daughters or neither of them. Not the asshole. That's messed up. Favoring one baby over another is kinda wild. I'd be pissed too, and your husband should not brush it off like it's nothing. Not the asshole. Your husband tolerating your father-in-law mistreating your children is unacceptable. By the way, the favoritism harms both children, not just the neglected one. I would ask husband why he permits his father to mistreat his children. And if he gives you a bullshit answer, ask again. And again. And again. Until you finally get the right answer. That he won't permit it anymore. Because your husband should be the one to set the limit. It's his father, so his problem to solve. And if he refuses to solve the problem? Sorry, but I don't see the marriage surviving. Protecting your own children is pretty basic. Not protecting them is a deal breaker.